this is somebody who's not used to not getting her way. The world, anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s knows what I'm talking about here. The world, handled these people with kid gloves. This is, fanaticism at this point now. I mean, look at the eyes. Look at her eyes. This is a 9-0 decision. This is not along party lines or ideological
lines. And she's defiant. And she's defiant.
And she's not alone, Jack. They're on Twitter right now. They go on news networks, whether it's MSNBC, CNN, all of them, and they still try to act like they're credible and competent people. They're on X right now having absolute temper tantrums like they're children who can't get their term with the blocks that they want to use. This is a problem. This is like a pandemic in our epidemic.
Wait, how did you, by the way, know that that's exactly what my entire weekend was like between my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old?
Because I got 3 of them myself, brother. I mean, this is how it looks when your kid doesn't get their way. This is what it looks like. You can see her right there. I still believe you believe incorrectly. You fabricated a novel concept. It didn't fly, even with the left-wing judges on the U.S. Supreme Court. Everybody heard you get humiliated during oral arguments. You don't have to be a lawyer to see it. Just like anybody, when we release a poll, us, the New York Times, that anybody can go through those numbers and basically have a concept of what was going on there. I mean, you can see an insane poll, even if you're not a pollster. An insane argument, even if you're not a lawyer. This was not normal oral arguments when she went before these justices, Jack. They were bouncing off each other. When Ketanji Brown Jackson is bouncing off of Brett Kavanaugh, you have a problem. When Alito is throwing things to Sotomayor and Kagan is like, you know what, on that note, let me take that because I kind of hear his point. I understand his point. You have a problem. I mean, there were people who have been observing the U.S. Supreme Court for news outlets for years. The correspondent who covers the Supreme Court for CBS News said this was one of the most ridiculous arguments she had ever heard posed, and it hit the most sharpest rebuttals from the justices that she's seen in 30 years. And yet she still has the audacity to go onto Twitter and make the case that there's something wrong with the Supreme Court. It can't be her, Jack. It can't be her and her argument.